Hello and welcome to Fifth and Grace. Today we're going to have a little look at Epstein. Something is, I don't know, it's all very weird. I don't know. So I thought, let's pull some cards and see what we can find out. Because this whole situation is, I think it's upsetting a lot of people. And I think it's important to note that it's very interesting that right-wing conservative voters, they are calling it out. They are not letting this man get away with it. They're not letting anybody involved get away with it. Shouldn't say this man. You know, I know that most of us do not believe that Jeffrey Epstein unalived himself. And people have said, oh, I've seen the list. They gave out the binders of the list, the information to, I think it was like influencers or something. Pam Bondi said, oh, it's on her desk. And then the press secretary, when questioned about that, said, no. The entire file, the whole thing was on her desk. Not the list, but the entire umbrella of the Epstein situation was on her desk. And I was like, oh yeah, that way to think on your feet. Well done. But we heard her say it's on her desk. We heard Kash Patel say, I'm pretty sure I heard him say, I've seen the list. You know, what was in the binders? And why was nothing leaked from those binders? Like, what was going on? So there's just a lot of stuff that has me thinking, because Ghislaine Maxwell is still sitting in prison. If there's no crime, why is she in prison? There were people named in her trial. Why did the Queen pay Virginia Giuffre however many millions of dollars to go away? Now, I understand that you know, rich people will pay money to make problems go away. Actually, everybody at every economic level pays money to make problems go away. Your car is making a noise, you pay someone to make that problem go away, right? It's pretty simple. You're hungry, you pay someone to make that problem go away. So sometimes rich people have much bigger problems than the average person. And, you know, that makes their life much more interesting. But why did the Queen pay Virginia Giuffre? Wasn't it convenient that not long before all this happened, Virginia Giuffre unalived herself? Like, is that not kind of strange? When she was supposed to be dying from a kidney situation after a minor fender bender, and you see what I'm saying? Like, everything, nothing's adding up, and it's driving a lot of people crazy. So we've got a few decks on the table here today. We're just going to pull cards and see what comes out. I do have my tokens as well. And my true crime deck, I've divided into 4. I've shuffled all of them really well, but we'll do one quick shuffle just for the sake of time here, okay? So we've shuffled this one. I did shuffle it a few times before. And we'll just see what comes out. Oh, goodness, my goodness. Dark intentions or motive. Well, yeah. And I don't believe that Donald Trump is on the list, by the way. He's not on the list. Because if he was, the left would be demanding that list. That's what they would use to destroy him once and for all. That's what they would use. So I don't believe he's on the list. What I do believe is on the list is potentially a global collapse. I don't mean in a globalist way, but like literally every country in the world would be affected. It would probably trigger 100 elections around the world. Like, there's just so much that could happen. And I think that what is happening personally is that the world is literally being protected by this list not coming out. I wish people would just be honest about it, but you know, there could be more to it. Okay. Know too much, want to talk. Yeah. I don't believe that Virginia Giuffre is dead. I believe that she's being hidden somewhere, and she probably took a nice little deal to disappear because she knows too much and maybe wanted to talk. And maybe she said, listen, this is the shiz is going to hit the fan. I need to get out of here. I need to protect myself. So she probably struck a deal. That's what I believe. Crime of opportunity. I don't know that this is a crime, like not releasing the list is a crime, but certainly I think there's a lot of people glomming onto it, seeing the opportunity to get away with some stuff. Definitely. Definitely. Digital footprint. So there is a list. There has to be. There has to be a list, because if you own a property where people are flying in and out, back and forth, and wasn't it like a resort kind of thing? So people, there'd be flight logs of people flying in and out, plus you'd have staff, plus there would be grocery bills, there would be cleaners, there'd be landscapers, there would be people on file. There would be a digital footprint and even a paper footprint of everything that has come and gone from that island. So I don't know. Yeah. And Ghislaine Maxwell, like I said, in her trial, they named names. So yeah, it's there. It's all out there. Temperance, life in balance. Yeah, see, this is what I think Donald Trump is doing, is he's trying to keep the whole world stabilized right now. Because if you can imagine, he's trying to do business deals with China, and this is just, we're just tossing out an example here, for entertainment purposes only, okay? We're just playing with pretty cards and telling stories, for entertainment purposes only. If he's trying to do a business deal with China, let's just say, and the president of China is on that list. I'm not saying he is, I'm just using an example. We could pick any country, you know, Russia, Poland, France, do you know what I mean? And that takes down that country. That's going to ruin everything that he's worked for all this time. So, you know, he's trying to get everybody on board with, let's just peacefully get along and do business together. And then if he starts exposing hundreds of world leaders and probably thousands at every level, that's going to collapse everything. And if the whole world goes into election mode, he has no idea who he's going to end up with in the end, and who he's going to have to deal with. And then he's got to start fresh with all these countries. So I think my belief is, for the sake of peace, this is why this is going on. Judgment, harsh sentence, because people would be very harshly sentenced. You know, Ghislaine Maxwell has been harshly sentenced for something that didn't happen, apparently, right? You know, Virginia Giuffre has been through an awful lot. I mean, she chose to go to that island. So, you know, she was an employee, just like every other employee there. But I think that there was probably things that went on that were quite damaging and harmful, allegedly, for entertainment purposes, only my opinion. And then you know, she can't live her normal life because we've got this situation where she's had to go into hiding. If Jeffrey Epstein is still alive, he can't just pop up in your local Walmart. You know what I mean? He can't be seen out in the world. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Everybody's got life sentences here, even if they're free, walking around, still alive. This is a life sentence for a few people. So yeah, interesting. Okay, let's pull out the true crime. This is the first section. And we'll see. The light is, oh gosh, you'd think I'd never learned to shuffle cards before. The light is really interesting today. It's all very dappley. I have a big tree out this window here. And so it's all dappley on the table. Okay, let's see what we need to know. Thief. Depopulation. It's a big topic right now. Serial killer. Wow. AI. A motel, hotel. Interesting. Okay. I don't know what any of that means. Like, I know what it all means, but to try to make the connections. Sometimes the cards will pick up on things that we don't consciously know. You know, like it'll for example, I went to a tea leaf reader years ago, and she was telling me about somebody, and she's like, oh, no, he's gay. And I was like, no, he's not. What are you talking about? No. Turns out he's gay. Yeah, turns out he's gay. So she saw things that the rest of us didn't. And so when she's like, who's the gay man? We're all like, I don't know, what are you talking about? And it was this guy who is not out, which is kind of interesting. I don't know what he's afraid of, but don't know what he's afraid of, but here we are. None of my business. None of my business. All right, we've got poison. Project Bluebeam. What is Project Bluebeam? I can't remember. Is it like aliens? Staged. Yeah, that's a word being tossed around. And direct energy weapons. Interesting. I want to know a little bit more about these two, so we're going to hang on to them. Okay. Let me know in the comments what you think is going on. And if you're here with your Trump derangement syndrome, just don't. Try to be neutral. Try to be objective rather than let your feelings run the show, because nothing bad has happened. We're just not getting the information that we thought we would get. And I don't think that he's doing it to protect the people on the list. I think he's doing it to protect everyone else, really. It's because the absolute collapse of countries could be female. Fire. Accomplice. Well, we know who the accomplice and partner in crime is. Oh. Because we've had a few of those lately. Man-made disasters. Yeah. Floods. Inland hurricanes. Things like that. Protection. Yeah. I think he's protecting the world. I think he's protecting the world. We're going to keep that one out and put this one away. And let's see what our final little stack. So you see how many cards are here. The stack is like 4 inches tall, so it cannot be shuffled. So that's why I do it in 4 little batches to see what comes out. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. Are you upset that we're not getting the list? Do you think there must be some really good reason? Do you think the list exists and is being hidden? Do you think it does not exist and everybody's like, oh shoot, there's no list? But then in that case, where's Ghislaine? Maybe, is she on the island, but we're just being told she's in prison? Like, what's going on there? Are Epstein, Gouffre, and Ghislaine Maxwell all on the island together, hanging out, sipping cocktails, watching the rest of us lose our minds over this? Perhaps. Yeah, it's a gift to the world, isn't it? Weather manipulation? This is so crazy because we had that man-made disaster. It's almost like the cards want me to talk about something else. Maybe that's what's on the list. Maybe that's who's on the list. Maybe that's what's on the list. Oh, the instruction card. Home. Interesting. All right. I want to know more about this. I feel like the cards want me to talk about man-made disasters and weather modification, though. All right, so we'll do this and this. Can we see them? Yeah. I need to figure out how to... See, when I make my camera bigger, like when I expand out, I don't know what you call it, zoom in, zoom out, it zooms out wide as opposed to just a nice square. So, I don't know. I gotta figure that out. So I do have my little tokens here. And we'll pull a few and see. Oopsie, I put this one upside down. So yeah, I'm curious what you think is going on. Because this is all, it's all just, I don't know. It's really taken, sorry, there's my lists there. It's taken the wind out of a lot of people's sails, I think, in terms of like believing in what's going on. Simply, yeah, it's just, yeah, I don't know. So Leo, I will 90 lighthearted date conversation with friends. Yeah, maybe that's what he thought was going on. And 47, protected. He's being protected. Able to weather out the storms of life. There's the protection card right there. Jesus, this was on the list, and this is like, oh, Donald Trump is like, yeah, we can't. We cannot. We cannot. Goodness. And then 79, nostalgia, replaying old memories. Yeah, well, we know he's got dementia. Like, really what went on was elder abuse, let's be honest. And, yeah. All right, let me know what you think about this. I love you, a key, check mark, and the flower. Okay, let's see, 53, important element to resolve a problem. Yeah, they had to fake something to solve a problem. Oh, maybe it was like, no, we're on it, we're doing it, we've got all this, we've got all that, look at what's going on, and then, ooh, when it comes right down to it, they can't produce anything. So that maybe the list was made up. I don't know. The whole thing is just... it's so weird. It's so weird. I love you is just I love you. That's it. Is he doing this because he loves the world so much that he's... oh, I sound like a preacher. That he, yeah, doesn't want it to collapse. Because I don't care what anybody says. You can hate Donald Trump all you want. There's no denying he's a very caring man. You know, his children all like him and love him and want to hang out with him, and you know, his family seems to all really be into him. And you know, I watched Donald Trump on a podcast. It was called Flagrant, and one of the things these guys talked about while he was sitting there with them was that it's really impressive that all of his children seem to like him, and he doesn't have big drama in his family. So there you go. He's a very loving person. And just because he's brash and just because you maybe don't like his politics or whatever, we can't deny the fact that he cares very much about his family, he cares very much about people. You hear the stories, you read the stories, you see the videos of the way he treats people. I think he really cares about people. So there is a part of me that's starting to think, yeah, really, I think that he's doing this out of just protecting everyone. No, but he doesn't want countries collapsing. Some countries would probably economically collapse. You know, Canada's already there. And if you told us Mark Carney's on the list, we'd be like, yeah, we knew. Yeah, knew it. Anyway. So this just means like stop and smell the flowers. So yeah, the whole thing is staged, like smile for the cameras kind of thing. Yeah. Something's been staged along the way. Whether it's what happened to Epstein in prison, Ghislaine Maxwell being in prison, Virginia Giuffre being unalived, like all these things, they could all be staged. And just smile for the camera, right? Interesting. Interesting. I don't think we'll ever know, by the way. These are just my speculations, but I don't think we'll ever know. So 73... hope and a truce. Yeah. He'll be able to use this as a bargaining chip. For sure. I mean, Donald Trump will be able to use this as a bargaining chip. So when some, you know, country is like, we're going to bomb you, he'll say, really? Let's talk about the list. So yeah, I think he's holding it to use later on to keep everybody in line. To end wars, things like that. That's what I think. I could be totally wrong, but that's what I think. Trappings of the material world is this one, sorry, which is the devil. Yeah. But I don't think it's Donald Trump. I'm not getting that sense. It's somebody else. It could literally be Satan working. Oh, you know what I'll do? I just looked at the camera and see that you can't see what I'm doing here. You know, Satan's working hard, that's for sure. And the Satanists are the people. There are so many people who practice Satanism and they don't even know they're Satanists. They don't even know that what they're doing is a satanic ritual or symbolism or anything like that. And I'm just like, wow, that is wild that people don't even know what they're doing. And so, yeah, I think there's a lot of people who don't realize that what they're doing is satanic, that they're practicing satanic rituals, and there's just all this crazy stuff. Whew. It's a lot. So a hope and truce. Yeah, he's going to use this to keep peace in the world. And 137. Slow movement. So yeah, like I said, I don't think we, the average people, are ever going to know what's going on. And if we do, it'll take a long time. It'll be generations, probably, before we do. And, yeah, this one is just like, love hurts, broken heart. I think there's a lot of people feeling very sad right now. They maybe have lost hope. A guy that used to live in my area who is a YouTuber, he said Donald Trump is the deep state. I don't know if I would take it that far. He may be right, but I don't know at this time that I would take it that far. So there we go. Ooh, lots of them for this guy. Okay, so 40 is the Holly. Protection, divinity, being divinely protected. And then 42, occult, knowledge, spell casting. And this is under the protection card. Interesting, which connects to this card here, corrupt politician. And I don't necessarily think he was as corrupt as the people around him. My opinion. Because he didn't know what was going on. He just stood where he was told to stand. 16. Destruction and liberation tower moment, unforeseen change. Yeah, if this all comes out, the whole world collapses. 77 is vibrations, energetic frequency. It's dragging down the world a bit, but I think if we all wrap our heads around the idea that it's for the best, then probably things will improve. Things will improve. This is a commitment to protecting everybody, protecting the world. And, you know, you can feel free to argue with me. You can feel free to disagree and debate it with me, but you don't get to be a jerk, okay? Let's just keep it clean in the comments, okay? And I will meet you in the comments because I love chatting in the comments. And the seashell is a pearl created from strife. So yeah, no dirt, no pearl, right? So yeah, I think in the end, this is the energy around this is that this list being kept the way it is at the moment is for the best. It is for the best. And we'll pull a few tarot cards and just see what they have to say. I just dropped a token. Okay, I see where it is. I'll get it later. And we'll pull a few tarot cards. Oh, the light is so wild. It's mid-afternoon, so it's interesting light. And it's summer here in the Northern Hemisphere, so the sun is intense. All right, let's see what comes out. We'll put our little bowl over there. We're just going to pull a few. Oh, interesting. Wow. Okay. All right. I'm going to look up some timings because I can. Temperance. Keeping everything balanced. This is what temperance basically means, is balance and and caution, looking before you leap, just kind of pulling back on the reins a little bit. It's a good, indication that we need to think things through, or in this case, everybody's thinking this through. There's probably a lot of meetings about this topic, and trying to figure out how to move through this without riots in the streets, kind of thing. This is Sagittarius season, so the end of the year. Judgment. Let's see what the timing is for this. No timing here. But this is a new awareness of a situation. This is seeing things with new eyes. I believe that they have all seen it with new eyes, and we need to see it with new eyes. I think this is a great indication of what's going on, and then what we also need to do. This is we would see this card come a lot during COVID, because it does kind of, in a way, relate to health matters. And I wonder if there's some connection between what went on during COVID and lockdowns and everything else and what's happening now. It wouldn't surprise me. It's all interconnected. It's all interconnected. And the Magician, no timing. So whenever we see a card that has no timing attached to it, it's now or before you're ready. So it's just, when it's like, here's what you should be doing now, then just do it now. Don't be like, oh, in 5 years, this is what I should be doing. No, it's like right now. So, being in this is just try to look at it from different angles, try to look at it from different perspectives. I know most of us are quite committed to our one line of thinking, but it's really good to listen to other people and their views and their perspectives, even if you don't agree with them, because that's how you learn. We don't learn from people we agree with. Nobody learns in a bubble, and nobody learns in a silo. So we only learn when we are around people who are not like us, who don't think like us, who don't believe like us. That's how we learn. So the Magician, no timing. And this is, again, with health. This card often comes up when we're talking about health issues. I wonder if we're going to find out that it was the biggest names on those lists would not survive this coming out. I wonder if that's what it is. But it's definitely about learning. It's interesting that I was just talking about, like, talk to people you don't agree with and you might learn something. But there's also very much a trickster energy, which I think all of us are sort of feeling right now, which is like, hey, you tricked us, right? So yeah, I think we're feeling that, but I don't think that's what's going on. I think there's just something much bigger happening behind the scenes of all of this. And then the Four of Cups. It's my stoner card. Because, like, only when you're stoned will a popcorn bring you a glass of wine. So I'm going to look up the timing of our Four of Wands and see if that can give us any indication of anything. This is a spring date, so nothing happening currently at this moment. But it is a good reminder to us to keep our emotions in check while we're dealing with all of this. If we start getting too much into our feelings, we get further and further away from the facts. So we don't want to be so committed to how we feel about something that we can't change how we feel about it. But at the same time, we want to be stable in our emotions and be stable. And, we know our feelings begin with our thoughts. So just, like I said, listen to other people, listen to people you don't agree with, listen to commentators, turn the TV off, don't watch the news, go to YouTube as you are, and listen to people talk about it who have really spent a lot of time educating themselves on the topic and haven't just been fed a script to read from a teleprompter. Okay. Yeah. Well, that was kind of interesting. Let me know what you think. And I'll meet you in the comments, because this one has me baffled. And it's important to remember that sometimes when something would be very, very damaging for people to know, spirit blocks us from knowing it. That's why I feel like I'm not getting any clear answers. Spirit's like, we'll give you a little bit, but we're not going to tell you everything, because that would be really dangerous to have that information. So yeah, I think there's a whole bunch of things going on. People are being protected, absolutely. Could be the person in that picture. And I think we just all need to kind of simmer down. You know how often people calm down when you tell them to calm down, right? So just calm down and click subscribe, click the like button, and leave a comment and let me know what you think. And as ever, have a magical day.